Hello guys, so today I'm going to be showing you how to draft, cut and sew a perfect shoulder dart princess bustier. It is simple, detailed and beginner friendly. So if you love what you see and you want to know how it was achieved, please keep on watching. And if this is your first time on the channel, please click on the subscribe button and also don't forget to like, share and drop a comment. So now we are going to go into today's tutorial proper. So the first thing I'm going to go ahead to do now is to draw a straight line at the top of my paper. This line I'm drawing at this point is going to be serving as the shoulder line, after which I'll go ahead to start inserting the vertical measurement. So the vertical measurement is a shoulder to bust point, shoulder to under bust and shoulder to waistline. So the shoulder to bust point I'm working with is 10.5 inch. I'm going to go ahead to place my tape rule starting from the shoulder line like this, and I'll mark the 10.5 inch. After marking the 10.5 inch, I'll go ahead to insert the shoulder to the under bust, which is 14 inch. I'll go ahead to mark that also. Then I'll go ahead to insert the shoulder to the waistline, which is 17 inch. Once I'm done marking this point, the next thing I'm going to go ahead to do is to draw straight horizontal line at the point I just marked, like you see me doing in the video. So after marking, I'll go ahead to label this part as the bust point. This part here is going to be the under bust line, and here is going to be the waistline. The next thing I'm going to go ahead to do now is to move over to the shoulder line, and I'll be inserting my shoulder measurement divided by 2. So my shoulder is 15 divided by 2 is 7.5. I'll mark that. Next, I'll be coming down by 1 inch for the shoulder slope, and I'll go ahead to mark that also. So from the point I came down by 1 inch, I'll go ahead to insert the armhole depth, which is 8 inch, and mark. After marking it, I'll also mark my shoulder measurement divided by 2 at this point so that I'll be able to draw a straight line for the armhole depth line. Next, I'm going to go ahead to draw the armhole depth with my ruler, like you see me doing in the video. After which, I'm going to go ahead to label this part as the chest line. So the next thing I'm going to go ahead to do now is to draw the armhole for the front of the shoulder dart bustier we are going to be making. And in doing that, first I'll divide my armhole depth line into 2 like this and mark. After marking, I'll come in by 0.5 inch and also mark. Then on the chest line, I'll go ahead to insert my bust measurement divided by 4, which is 9 inch, and mark. Next, I'll go ahead to draw the armhole curve for the front of the bustier like you see me doing in the video. So once I'm done doing this, the next I'm going to go ahead to do now is to insert the dart. For the dart, the first thing I'll go ahead to do is to mark half of my bust span measurement. That is my bust span measurement divided by 2. So my bust span is 7.5 divided by 2 is 3.75. I'm going to go ahead to mark the 3.75 on the bust point line and also on the waistline. After marking, I'll go ahead to connect the 2 points together with a straight line like you see me doing in the video. The next thing I'm going to go ahead to do now is to take out the dart. For the dart, I'll go ahead to mark a dart of 0.75 inch on the under bust line and also on the waistline, and I'll be marking this dart on both sides like you see me doing in the video. So that means I'm taking out 1.5 inch as the dart for the bustier I'm making. So after marking the 0.75 inch on both sides, I'm going to go ahead to connect the under bust to the waistline with a straight line like you see me doing in the video. And this is what we are going to be having once you're done doing that. So next, I'll move over to the bust point line, and I'll be coming down by 1 inch from the bust point line and mark. After marking, I'll go ahead to draw the under bust curve with the curved part of my ruler like this. So the next thing I'm going to go ahead to do now is to tighten the underbust. And in tightening the underbust, I'm going to go ahead to go out from this dart leg. I'll be going out by 0.5 inch on both sides like you see me doing in the video. Once I'm done doing that, I'm going to go ahead to withdraw the underbust curve with the curved part of my ruler like you see me doing in the video. And I'll be repeating the same thing on the other side like this. Next, I'm going to go ahead to connect the underbust to the waistline with a straight line like this. After connecting, this is what it is going to look like. So I'm just going to go ahead to clean the inner dart so that you don't get confused. So the outer dart is what we are going to be working with. So after cleaning the inner dart, this is what it is going to look like. As you can see, the under bust area is well contoured. So this is what you should have once you are done with this part. So the next thing I'm going to go ahead to do now is to draw the neckline. And in doing that, I'll go ahead to mark a neck width of 3.5 inch and a neck depth of 3.5 inch. After which I'll go ahead to draw a simple round neck. But you can go ahead to draw whatever neckline you want. The choice is totally yours to make. After drawing the neckline, I'm going to go ahead to insert the shoulder slope like you see me doing in the video. So once I'm done doing this, the next thing I'm going to go ahead to do now is to measure what I have from this shoulder slope. And what I have here is 4 inch. I'll divide it by 2 and mark. After marking it, I'll go ahead to connect it to the bust point using a straight line like you see me doing in the video. So once I'm done doing this, next I'm going to go ahead to take out the shoulder dart. For the dart, I'll go ahead to mark a dart of 1 inch on both sides like you see me doing in the video. After marking the 1 inch on both sides, I'm going to go ahead to connect that 1 inch to the bust point line. But before connecting the 1 inch to the bust point line, what I love to do is to tighten the upper part a little. And in doing that, I'm going to go ahead to measure what I have between my bust point and the under bust. And what I have here is 3.5 inch. So I'll place my tape on the bust point area and measure the 3.5 inch upward like you see me doing in the video. After marking the 3.5 inch upward, I'm going to go ahead to draw a faint line with my ruler like this. Then I'll go ahead to tighten that part. So to tighten that part, I'll be marking a dart of 0.5 inch on both sides like you see me doing in the video. After marking the dart of 0.5 inch, I'll go ahead to connect it to the bust point using a straight line like this. So after connecting, this is what we are going to be having. Next, I'll go ahead to connect the 1 inch on the shoulder line to this point using a straight line like you see me doing in the video. So after drawing the dart, this is what the dart is going to look like. The next I'm going to go ahead to do now is to replace this 2 inch on the side because I'm going to be cutting out the dart. And in doing that, the first thing I'm going to go ahead to do is to extend the shoulder slope like this. After extending it, I'll go ahead to replace the 2 inch on the shoulder slope I just extended like this, and I'll go ahead to mark it. After marking it, the next thing I'm going to go ahead to do is to draw the new armhole. For the new armhole, you don't just go ahead to place the curved part of the ruler like this and draw. To draw the new armhole, the first thing you're going to go ahead to do is to measure what you have from this first dart leg to the armhole. So what I have here is 3 inch. I'm going to go ahead to replace it on the side, starting from the third dart leg I have on this side. It's because we are going to be cutting out this dart we have here. So now the measurement is going to be starting from this last dart leg I have. So I'll place the 3 inch on this last dart leg and I'll go ahead to mark it, and I'm marking it on the center of the armhole. So I'll go ahead to mark that like this. After marking it, I'll go ahead to draw the armhole curve, making sure that it meets with the 3 point I just marked with my ruler like this. So this is what the new armhole curve is going to look like. So I'm just going to go ahead to clean this old one we have here because it is no longer relevant. We will not be needing this old armhole curve we have at this point. So this is what the armhole is going to look like. So next I'm going to go ahead to do now is to start inserting my body circumference measurement. So on the chest line, I'll go ahead to mark my bust divided by 4. My bust is 36 divided by 4 is 9 inch. I'll go ahead to mark that. Then I'll replace the dart I have on this side, which is 0.5 inch, and mark also. Then on the waist, I'll go ahead to insert my waist divided by 4, which is 7.75. After which I'll go ahead to replace the dart I have on this side, which is 1.5 inch, and I'll go ahead to mark it. After marking it, I'm going to go ahead to connect the chest line to the waistline with a straight line like you see me doing in the video. After which I'll go ahead to mark my seam allowance of 1.5 inch both on the chest line and also on the waistline. Then I'll go ahead to connect that with a straight line also. So after connecting, this is what it is going to look like. The next I'm going to go ahead to do now is to insert the bust dart. The bust dart is the difference between your shoulder to waist for the front and the shoulder to waist for the back. So for me, the difference between my shoulder to waist for the front and that of the back is 1.5 inch. So I'm going to go ahead to mark the 1.5 inch from this bust point line. I'll come down from the bust point and mark the 1.5 inch. After marking it, I'm going to go ahead to connect it to this point with a straight line like this. So this is going to help make the front and the back equal. If you don't take out the bust dart, front, you notice that the front is looking longer than that of the back. So the next thing I'm going to go ahead to do now is to try to close the dart so that I'll be able to blend the side of the bustier I'm making. So I'm going to go ahead to fold it like this. After folding it, I'm going to go ahead to blend it with my ruler like you see me doing in the video. So basically, this is what the front of the shoulder dart bustier is going to look like. The next I'm going to go ahead to do now is to move over to the back. So for the back, the first thing I'm going to go ahead to do now is to extend my chest line to the back. So the chest line for the front and the back is the same thing. So I'm just going to go ahead to measure what I have from the shoulder line to the chest line of the front, and I'll go ahead to replace the same thing on the back, after which I'll go ahead to draw a straight horizontal line like you see me doing in the video. So after drawing the chest line, the next thing I'm going to go ahead to do now is to insert my shoulder to waist measurement. So my shoulder to waist for the back is 15.5, while that of the front is 17 inch. So I'm going to go ahead to mark the 15.5 like this. After marking it, the next thing I'm going to go ahead to do is to draw a straight horizontal line at the point I just marked like you see me doing in the video. So after inserting the shoulder to waist measurement, the next thing I'm going to go ahead to do now is to mark the zipper allowance of 1 inch on the center back like you see me doing in the video. After marking it, I'm going to go ahead to draw a straight line with my ruler like this. So after taking out the zipper allowance, the next thing I'm going to go ahead to do now is to eliminate the zipper bulge on the center back. And in doing that, I'm going to be coming in from the waistline by 1 inch and mark. So the back is not straight. So this is going to help eliminate any zipper bulge on the back, because if you should make your zipper allowance straight, you'll discover that after fixing the zipper and the dress is being worn, there's going to be a bulge at the back. So to avoid that, you go in by 0.75 inch or 1 inch from the waistline. After which you're going to go ahead to connect it like you see me doing in the video, and I'll be taking all measurement from this new line I have at this point. So the next thing I'm going to go ahead to do now is to move over to the shoulder line, and I'll mark my shoulder measurement divided by 2, and I'll go ahead to mark that. Next, I'll be coming down by 1.5 inch for the shoulder slope of the back. So because we extended the front shoulder slope, so that of the front is 1.5 inch. So if we should make the back 1 inch, you are going to be having some shortage. So I'm going to be coming down by 1.5 inch for the shoulder slope of the back also, and I'll go ahead to mark. After marking it, I'm going to go ahead to draw the arm hooded line with my ruler like you see me doing in the video. So next I'm going to go ahead to do now is to take out the neck width. I'll mark a neck width of 3.5 inch and whatever neck depth I want. So I'll just go ahead to mark 2 inch as the neck depth. Then I'll go ahead to draw the back neckline with the curved part of my ruler like this, after which I'll go ahead to draw the shoulder slope. So next, I'm going to go ahead to take out my bust measurement on the chest line. So I'll place my tape rule like this, and I'll mark my bust measurement divided by 4. Then on the waistline, I'll also go ahead to mark the waist measurement divided by 4. And I'll be adding 1 inch for the waist dart for that of the back and mark. After marking it, I'm going to go ahead to connect the chest line to the waistline with a straight line like this. After which, I'll go ahead to draw the armhole curve for the back with the curved part of my ruler like you see me doing in the video. So the next thing I'm going to go ahead to do now is to take out the waist dart. For the waist dart, I'll go ahead to measure half of my bust band measurement, which is 3.75 on the waistline and mark, and I'll be repeating the same thing on the chest line also. So for the chest line, I'll go ahead to measure what I have from the beginning to the point I just marked, and I'll go ahead to replace it upward like this so that I'll be able to have a straight line. After doing that, I'm going to go ahead to connect the chest line to the waistline with a straight line like this, after which I'll go ahead to mark a dart of 0.5 inch on both sides like this. Then I'll go ahead to draw the dart leg with my ruler like you see me doing in the video. So once I'm done doing this, I'm going to go ahead to mark a seam allowance of 1.5 inch like I did for the front, after which I'll connect it together with a straight line. So after doing this, the next I'm going to go ahead to do now is to retake my zipper allowance. So I'll be going out by 1 inch from this new line I just drew. So I'll go ahead to mark 1 inch all the way to the top like you see me doing in the video. After marking it, I'm going to go ahead to connect it together with a straight line like this. So this is going to be serving as the new zipper allowance. So when fixing your zipper, make sure you follow what you have at this point. So you can decide to leave the back like this, and you can also decide to draw a shoulder style line. So to draw the shoulder style line, all you need to do is to divide what you have on the shoulder slope by 2. Then you go ahead to connect it to the chest line with a straight line like you see me doing in the video. So this is totally optional. So basically this is what the back block is going to look like, and here we have the front block of the bustier we are making. So I'm just going to go ahead to label this part as the front. Then I'll go ahead to label the back also. So the next thing I'm going to go ahead to do now is to cut it out. So I'm just going to go ahead to separate the front from the back first, like you see me doing in the video. So before you go ahead to cut out the front, the first thing to do is to close up the bust dart. So before closing up the bust dart, you're going to go ahead to separate the shoulder dart into 2 like this. Then you go ahead to close the bust dart permanently and keep it in place with your masking tape. After keeping it in place with your masking tape, you can go ahead to cut it out like you see me doing in the video. So after cutting, this is what the front and the back block is going to look like. So for the back, you can decide to leave it like this, and you can decide to slash it open like so. So whatever you want to do is totally your choice to make. So the next thing I'm going to go ahead to do now is to cut out my fabric using this pattern. Then I'll come back to show you what to do next. So after cutting out my fabric with my pattern, this is what it is going to look like once you're done cutting. So while cutting, I went ahead to add a seam allowance of 0.5 inch on the waistline and also on the side and on the shoulder line. So I'm just going to go ahead to open it up for you to see what it looks like once you have the bustier opened. And also, I've gone ahead to attach my wording to the bustier. So if you don't know how to pad a bustier properly, I have a detailed tutorial on how to do this, and I'll be dropping the link to this tutorial in the description box. So the next I'm going to go ahead to do now is to join the piece together. So if you notice, I'm here to cut out the neckline because I'm here to decide the neckline I'm going to be cutting out for the dress I'm making, but you can go ahead to cut out your neckline. So the next I'm going to go ahead to do now is to join the center panel to the side panel like this, making sure the good face are facing each other. Then I'll go ahead to stitch it together, and I'll repeat the same thing for the other side and also for the lining piece. So I'm going to go ahead to quickly do that, then I'll come back to show you what it looks like. So after I was done stitching it together, this is what it is going to look like. As you can see, the cups came out really nice. This is what you should have once you are done joining the center panel to the side panel. And this is what the inner part of the buster is going to look like. I also went ahead to give it a good press. So this is what you should have once you are done stitching it together. So if this video was helpful to you, please don't forget to subscribe if you are yet to. And also don't forget to like, share, and drop a comment. Thank you for watching. I will see you in my next tutorial.